There's no team that I've been on that the number one option don't get the ball during a tie score situation. When LeBron took the ball, it was a tie ball game. It was like 100-100 or something like that. LeBron went for a pick and roll with the white guy, got the white guy on him, drove to the basket. Giannis kept pursuing him, and Giannis said, "Get that out of here." What I'm saying is, during that time, the ball should have been swung to Luka. Luka is the number one option, correct?
When Kwame Brown goes off, he doesn't whisper, sugarcoat, or play both sides. And this time his target is LeBron James, the so-called king and longtime face of the league. Brown's criticism isn't really about whether LeBron is still a great player, it's about role and hierarchy on the Los Angeles Lakers. His argument is that the team already has a clear offensive centerpiece and that continuing to operate as if LeBron must be the primary option could be complicating the team's identity. That's the uncomfortable debate fueling the conversation, not LeBron's legacy, but whether the Lakers' success moving forward depends on redefining how the offense flows and who truly sits at the center of it.
I'm confused on who's the number one option now. LeBron is going up to the free throw line taking free throws when he's a horrible free throw shooter compared to his teammates. Then when it's crunch time, LeBron is having a decent game, but Luka is averaging 30. He's the number one scorer on y'all team. Why doesn't he have the ball?
That's the debate a lot of people around the Los Angeles Lakers keep circling back to. When the game is on the line, should the ball still be in LeBron James' hands, or should it now belong primarily to Luka Doncic? LeBron's resume in clutch moments is legendary. 2 decades of playoff shots, game winners, and decision-making under pressure. But basketball roles naturally evolve with age and roster changes. Doncic is in his prime and built for late-game offense, high-usage creation, step-back scoring, and pick-and-roll control. The most effective version of the Lakers might not be choosing one over the other, but structuring possessions where Doncic initiates while LeBron reads the floor as a secondary playmaker or finisher. The real question isn't whether LeBron can still close games. It's whether the team is better when the closing offense is designed primarily around Doncic's engine, with LeBron adapting into a strategic closer rather than the automatic first option.
You might need to be a facilitator. And if it gets your team a win, then the media shouldn't come down on you because you didn't have that average. Especially a bunch of people that don't know about basketball. And I think that's what they've done to the minds of our superstars. They screwed them up. They're not real basketball players no more. They just want to get numbers. Well, if they don't, the media gonna pick on them. I got to make a certain number to be an all-NBA player.
Fact.
Why would I care about winning? I just want to hit my numbers.
Kwame Brown zeroed in on something fans often avoid because of the name on the jersey. In crunch time for the Los Angeles Lakers, with the game tied and everything on the line, who should actually have the ball? Brown says the answer is simple: Luka Doncic. In his view, the league has always worked the same way. Your number one option gets the possession when the moment is biggest. Doncic is the elite scorer, the engine of the offense, the player capable of creating a shot or drawing the defense and making the right play. The debate isn't about disrespecting LeBron James or ignoring his legacy, it's about recognizing roles. Brown's argument is that if Doncic is the player the offense runs through night after night, then historically and logically he should also be the one touching the ball when the game is decided.
I'm confused on who's the number one option now. LeBron is going up to the free throw line taking free throws when he's a horrible free throw shooter compared to his teammates. Then when it's crunch time, LeBron is having a decent game, but Luka is averaging 30. He's the number one scorer on y'all team. Why doesn't he have the ball?
Kwame Brown pointed to one specific possession that, in his view, exposed the real issue. In a tie game, LeBron James called for pick and roll, hunted the matchup he wanted, and drove straight into Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the most dominant two-way defenders in the league. Giannis didn't hesitate and sent the shot back, and that moment is what Brown says proves his point. In his eyes, the possession should never have ended with LeBron forcing the attempt. The ball should have swung to Luka Doncic, the team's primary offensive creator, and let him decide whether to attack, pull up, or create for someone else. For Brown, it's simple late-game basketball. Your number one option should be the one making the final decision.
What I'm saying is, during that time, the ball should have been swung to Luka. Luka is the number one option, correct? There's no team that I've been on that the number one option don't get the ball during a tie score situation.
Kwame Brown argues that what made that moment stand out is how different it looked from the reputation LeBron James built over 2 decades. For most of his career, LeBron has been praised for making the right basketball read, passing to the open man rather than forcing a contested shot in crunch time. But Brown believes something has shifted, suggesting the decision to attack the rim in that situation wasn't just about the play, but about perception. With constant debate from voices like Skip Bayless and endless discussion about whether LeBron is still the guy, Brown claims the drive looked more like a response to outside noise than pure instinct. He also criticized the late-game free throw situation, arguing that when a team has multiple capable scorers, the player at the line in critical moments should ideally be the most reliable shooter available, which fuels the larger debate about role definition and decision-making in high-pressure possessions. Kwame Brown pointed to moments like the late-game struggles against the Phoenix Suns as another example of what he believes is a bigger issue with role clarity on the Los Angeles Lakers. His argument isn't simply about missed shots every player misses, but about who is supposed to take those shots in the first place. In Brown's view, if Luka Doncic is the primary offensive engine, then the ball should consistently run through him in the biggest moments rather than shifting back to LeBron James by default. Brown also tied that criticism to LeBron's uncertain contract situation and speculation about his future in Los Angeles, suggesting that the pressure to prove he's still the alpha player could be influencing late-game decisions. Whether or not that interpretation is fair, it reflects a growing debate about hierarchy, leadership, and how the Lakers balance legacy with the direction of a team moving forward. Kwame Brown pushed the conversation even further, moving beyond the play itself and questioning the motive behind it. According to Brown, the issue isn't just a late-game decision by LeBron James. It's what he believes that decision represents. Brown argued that LeBron may be more focused on maintaining his stat line, those 25, 30, or 34-point nights that shape headlines and protect a legacy, than simply deferring in key moments if that gives the team the best chance to win. For many longtime fans, that accusation hits hard because it challenges the narrative that has followed LeBron throughout his career, the superstar who prides himself on making the right basketball play. Brown also made another controversial claim about the Los Angeles Lakers during the stretch when LeBron was out. In his view, the team looked more fluid and connected offensively, with the system naturally flowing through Luka Doncic as the clear focal point. Brown suggested that when LeBron returned, the offense shifted back toward his rhythm and style, which he believes disrupted the chemistry that had been developing. Whether people agree with that take or not, it adds fuel to the bigger debate about hierarchy in Los Angeles, how the team balances the presence of a legendary veteran with the need to fully empower its younger superstar. In Kwame's view, the moment with Giannis mattered for another reason as well. He used it as a clear contrast between different types of superstars. Giannis represents what Kwame sees as the old-school archetype, a player who dominates on both ends of the floor, guards the best opponent, and still carries the offense. When Giannis blocked the shot, there was no hesitation or respect for reputation. It was simply a professional play. To Kwame, that moment symbolized the league slowly moving past the era where LeBron automatically controlled every situation. From there, he expanded the criticism beyond just one player and aimed it at modern basketball as a whole. Kwame argued that today's system rewards scoring numbers more than overall impact, pushing players to chase points because media attention, awards, and contracts are often tied to averages. In his view, players aren't praised or paid the same way for locking down the opponent's best scorer anymore, and that shift has changed how many stars approach the game. You get paid for dropping 30 points, even if your team loses. Kwame didn't spare Luka either. While he defended Luka as the clear number one option offensively, he also acknowledged the defensive limitations. He pointed out that in playoff and finals moments, defense still matters. That's why, in his view, the old legends stood apart. They carried the load on both ends of the floor and adjusted their role depending on the night. If their shot wasn't falling, they became facilitators. If the matchup demanded defense, they locked in and took on the toughest assignments. That kind of versatility, Kwame argued, is what truly defined greatness. According to Kwame, LeBron at 41 is doing the opposite. Instead of shifting his role, he believes LeBron is chasing the narrative that he's still dominant at an age where no one else has been. He wants the comparisons, the graphics, and the headlines that say, "Look what he's doing at this age." And while that longevity is undeniably impressive, Kwame believes it can come at the expense of team success. In his view, when a player becomes too focused on proving something individually, it can weaken trust in the collective and disrupt the balance a team needs to win at the highest level. This is why Kwame keeps using the word fraud, not to erase LeBron's legendary career, but to describe what he believes he's seeing right now. In Kwame's eyes, it's a contradiction. A player who talks about team basketball but still demands the spotlight in the biggest moments. A player who says he'll make the right play, yet forces the issue when pride is on the line. Publicly, the message after games sounds perfect, but Kwame believes that privately the stat line still matters most. What makes the debate so intense is that both sides have real evidence. LeBron is still producing at a high level, the numbers are undeniable, and his longevity is something the league has never seen before. But basketball isn't played on spreadsheets, it's played in moments. And in that specific moment, with the game tied, Kwame believes LeBron failed the test. Not because he missed the shot, but because he took it instead of deferring. Now the bigger question is what happens next. Do the Lakers fully commit to Luka as the closer? Do they openly redefine LeBron's role instead of quietly managing it behind the scenes? Or do they keep walking this tightrope where everyone avoids admitting there might be a hierarchy issue? Because the longer that uncertainty continues, the louder voices like Kwame Brown's will become. At the end of the day, in his view, this isn't about hate, it's about a